The truth about being a photographer on YouTube. Just finished my new course on how to make money on YouTube and make it a full-time thing, and thought I would take a moment to talk about some of the truths. This is from the perspective of someone living in North America. I know Europe is a little bit different, and Japan I honestly have no data on, but I will be in Japan the entire month of February, snowboarding, take some pictures, and of course, eating at Outback Steakhouse. Maybe do a workshop, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that would be interesting to you. Some backstory, I got into making YouTube videos because videos are what taught me photography. When I was first getting started in the industry in 2003, it was very closed doors. No one was really making easy to find video content. Around 2008, 2009, people like Chase Jarvis started doing some behind the scenes content at commercial jobs and teaching people how to get into the industry. Chase actually received death threats for this, which is kind of crazy. With the switch to digital, the internet was thriving and the magazine industry was very much dying, and the photo industry as a whole was in quite a defensive place. Slowly, more professionals started putting out video content. Jerry Guiones started putting out some videos behind the scenes at real wedding days, and I found them to be really personally helpful and a big part of why I'm here today. Then in 2010, I wrote a book about wedding photography. I figured to promote this, I should probably start doing some video content. That's how I learned, and I was terrible at it. I still am really, really bad, but at least I'm not as bad as I used to be by doing it literally every day for the past 12 years. In a way, YouTube kind of became this infinite game to me. I consumed a lot of my daily content from it, and I wanted to make content to be part of that community, but more on that at the end of the video because I think it's one of the most important truths to being a photographer out there. Since then, I've got to go do projects in Antarctica, Kenya, Japan, and something on every other continent, all for this silly little thing called YouTube that no one thought could really be a job. It is fair to say that it has completely changed my life, and the experience I have access to, the jobs that I'm connected to, and just this stuff. We just got back from New York this week, invited by Sony to use a new camera that's not out yet. That's pretty neat and fun, I think. But now, the truths. Truth number one, we don't keep cameras. If I get a camera for a review, they ask for it back. There's usually a loan period. Sometimes there's not, and companies are okay with you having it as a bit of a longer term loan in hopes that you continue to use it. If you have a channel that does exceptionally well, you may have more bonuses when it comes to this, but generally they can ask for it back at any time, so you can't just sell the camera for profit. I'm also leaving Peter McKinnon specifically out of this because he's an entirely different case study. But when it comes down to it, brands don't pay us monthly. There's no money truck coming to just dump off a bunch of money in order to tip the scales to some brand's favor. It's actually very difficult for someone on YouTube to take an ambassador role because it cuts you out of being able to use other systems, which I think is an important thing for somebody to be well-rounded in the industry and to be able to compare cameras and to at least be able to say the name of the camera brand out loud on their channel. Certain brand ambassadors also come with the inability to use third-party lenses or flashes, which is not ideal when you want to make YouTube a business. So basically, we are not getting a free camera to make a review. We're not getting paid for the review by the brand, and it is not a sponsored video. Most reviewers obviously won't be too harsh on camera shortcomings because they don't want to tarnish a good relationship with that brand. I think this even goes for people reviewing cameras that they bought with their own money. There is always a secret hope that the brand's gonna see it and you're gonna get flown out to that next launch. And in the case of people buying their own cameras with their own money, there's also a mental factor at play where people want to prove to both themselves and the world why they made that decision, why they bought that expensive camera. So basically, every review you're ever gonna see on YouTube will be biased in some way because we are humans and we are not robots. Now back to brand ambassadorships for a moment. If you're an ambassador, there are usually a few different levels here. Some people get paid, some people just get product discounts. You'll be surprised at the people that just get discounts. And some people get paid for services rendered, like writing articles or making videos for the brand's channel. There's a bit of a gray area, and I don't know if I have an answer for it yet. Say I'm a brand ambassador and I'm doing anything on the internet. Is that now technically a sponsored piece of content? Do I have to tag the brand, the partner, and everything? And where is that line? If you watch action sports, snowboarding, ski, anything, you're going to see that Red Bull does a headwear buy on a number of athletes where if you're photographed or in a video, you have to have that Red Bull hat, that Red Bull toque, the beanie, or your helmet on. Nike will do a full head to toe buy where your shoes have to be Nike, pants Nike, jacket Nike, headwear Nike, or in the music industry, they can run a 360 deal. Does that mean that every single thing you're doing online is now a sponsored piece of content? Well, why would that be a problem? Once you do a sponsored post, you'll quickly realize that a company like Instagram heavily throttles your reach with that content because Instagram isn't getting a piece of that check. It's an ad on their platform. They would rather be getting paid for that ad, and they're not. In my experience, it's usually somewhere around 50% of your normal reach. So you post a thing, you would normally do pretty well. You post a thing, you get half that. Sometimes it's closer to 20%. It's really, really bad. Looks bad for you and also looks bad as you're collaborating with this brand for the first time. Why did your post do so poorly? This is another thing that we have to deal with, and another reason people will do their best to hide sponsored content, which I don't think is good for anyone. But when working with larger companies, they will be very adamant that you do things properly so they don't piss off the FTC. So at least there's some sort of governing body trying to control all this. So the truth so far, we don't get free cameras. We don't get an ongoing check for supporting a brand above others, and ambassadorships give you some great social credibility, but are not ideal when turning YouTube into a business. Next truth. A good affiliate program will get people promoting a product that they otherwise would not. I'm sure you've seen this. We talk about the math more in the Make Money on YouTube course, but basically, would you rather promote a $100 product that gives you a 3% commission or the same product that gives you a 30% commission? If the products are similar, you will be promoting the product that gives you that 30% commission. Next up, sponsored videos. Camera gear sponsored videos are actually pretty rare. What you see more often is kind of these blanket integrations like Squarespace or NordVPN where there's an intro logo and maybe a read halfway through or at the end, depending on where that read goes. The price kind of ranges, so it goes anywhere from maybe $300 to $3,000. You rarely, if ever, talk to the brand directly when it comes to these. They usually task an agency to get out there and get the brand 30 or 3,000 different channels over a specific term. The brands, they don't care about you. They just want to make sure that you're bringing in enough revenue to make it worth their while. They know that they're playing a huge numbers game and that the failure of maybe one person maybe not contributing as much isn't really a big problem for them. And fortunately for you, if you're not delivering, they don't really care. They'll still hire you back. For sponsor videos, usually there isn't a script, just a rough list of talking points or some things you should consider hitting. The other content of the videos is usually at your own discretion. Though when working with a brand, sometimes for the first time, you have to give them maybe some topics that the video is going to be about so that they can make sure that it aligns with what their product is and kind of what they were thinking. So this is a little bit of a behind the scenes of what goes into photography and filmmaking here on YouTube. But bigger than that, these are the ways narratives are driven on YouTube and the internet in general. I would consider YouTube to be a pretty key piece of the industry when it comes to guiding decision-making process as well as decision confirmation on products. And what happens here actually has a pretty significant impact on the entire photo and video market. We go way more into this in the course that I just put up over on the members website. So if this is something that you're interested in, it might be worth signing up for the month. Starting Black Friday, you can no longer sign up for monthly, you gotta sign up for the annual. If you're in on the monthly, you get to keep it. But if you sign up new after Black Friday, you have to sign up for the annual. So get in now if you do want this course. And we'll talk about all the strategy when it comes to making money here on YouTube, from ad revenue to brand deals to sponsorship to maximizing the number of awesome opportunities that you can get to live your life in a more fun way. Thanks for watching. Any questions, put them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. We'll see you again next time.